What's going on, guys? You're very welcome to another Degenerate Watch live stream. Just out for a bit of a walk here on a Sunday evening, and before I head back home I decided to just go live for a few minutes and see if there's anybody about. And channel birthday is coming up soon. It'll be the 5th birthday, so that's next weekend, so we'll have a couple of videos for that. One of the main ones will be a sovereign citizen video, so that should be interesting. It's been a while since we've had one on the channel, so that should be fun. And it is a quite interesting one as well. Just down at my local beach here. There's actually been quite a few fishermen down here fishing. There's some still up here, but a couple down to my right hand side there just after packing up and going home. But it was a good evening here. Kind of was a bit of a mixed bag of weather today, so it's nice to see that the rain held off for a bit. But yeah, as I was saying, I was just out for a bit of a walk. I decided just do a bit of a live stream. Go for a bit of a stroll around the beach, probably up through the harbour, and then kind of finish that off. But yeah, as I was saying, the channel will be 5 years old next Saturday, which is hard to believe that it's been that long that we've been making videos here. But yeah, so that should be interesting. So as I said, I have the sovereign citizen video, and I should have 1 or 2 other videos as well. But the sovereign citizen video is kind of going to be the main one. And I just see now there is actually someone still fishing up there right at the end, just below the ramp. But yeah, not a bad evening. The sun is it's behind the clouds there, but it's not bad here. Back on the boardwalk back there, the swallows are like swooping down real low for the flies, so they nearly take the head off you walking along. And there's a few people out fishing and stuff there, and out at the wind farm you can't really see it, and pardon my shaky hand, but there's a platform out there on one of the wind turbines, and a wind park out there is actually being decommissioned, so they'll probably be taking them down. But there is plans for another large wind farm development out there. Here's somebody else in their boat. It gets so pixelated when I zoom in there. But yeah, if you're watching, let us know in the chat where you're watching from, and shout out to everyone watching this back on the replay as well. But yeah, I want to get back into doing more of the sun. Actually, it looks really nice, but the camera doesn't really pick it up very well. But yeah, I want to get back into doing more of the live streaming, especially out and about and stuff like that. Won't go down and disturb that man's peace. Now, pardon if you can't hear me there with the sea, but I just decided to come down to the water's edge for a look. Flat out. Well, it is the season after all, to be enjoying the waves. Yeah, I know the fishermen up at the very end there were having a bit of luck earlier on. A few people that were out walking were overseeing what they had caught, but they were putting the fish back, so either it was too small or it wasn't what they were looking for. But the few kids that were there seemed to be enjoying seeing the fish and all anyway, so and this beach here would be fairly popular for fishing. Probably was like way more popular back in its heyday, like back in the 90s. I'd say there was a lot more fishing competitions and stuff. There still is some down here, but probably viewers of the channel that have been watching a while will know that if I've done streams from down the harbour before, I've been showing the like new water treatment plant that they've been building, and it's only recently kind of came online and it's completed, and there is noticeable improvement in the quality of the water in the river and that there's more wildlife there, so hopefully that does have a knock-on effect to this area in terms of more marine life. Or not a bad evening to be there fishing now. It's really nice down here. It's not, there's a little bit of a breeze, but like it's not cold or anything like that, so it's nice and pleasant. My initial objective coming down was to get a few pictures of that platform and all that's out on the bank there, but there was a bit of a haze obscuring it out there, so I can't really see it properly. It's too misty. We'll walk up here. You'll probably see some of the swallows dipping down low, if I don't get taken out by one of them. Yeah, some good views back up towards the town as well from up here. Yeah. The golf course over there. There's a few people out. It's an interesting fact as well, those blocks that are there, they're remnants of when they were building that pier down there. And there's just been there ever since. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so we're going to walk up along here. This is, I called it the boardwalk. It used to have boards down here, but they were there for like, I don't know, 10 or 15 years maybe, and they rotted away. It's kind of got a bit dangerous, especially for elderly people, so they've put down this, which is a lot better, especially for people with like buggies or like mobility aids, It's actually much easier to move along than the boards, plus the boards, when they got wet, they were quite slippy. So yeah, this is much better, Hi Dave. Not too bad. Good to see you there. Anyway, I was saying at the start of the stream there, I was out for a walk, so I just decided to go live for a few. Little bird's gone before I could zoom in on it. I'd go live for a few minutes when I'm walking around down here. Oh yeah. I know. I don't know if you can really see with the fence. I can kind of go up to it though, but it's kind of a view back of the up over the towards the town. Hi Joe, thanks very much for the super chat there. Good to see you. Yeah, I was just saying to Dave there. I was just out there, and I just decided, while I was down here walking around, that I just go live for a little bit. Like, I kind of want to get back into doing that, like I did before. Especially now that the weather is getting a lot better now. It's coming into summer here, so it is summer here. I'm saying it's not bad here tonight. Yeah, this is a better kind of view up here. Your water tower up there. But yeah, I'm gonna walk up there through the harbour. And as I said, there's quite a few people down here fishing tonight. There was more up there, but there's some there. Man being accosted there about catching anything. I used to like going fishing myself, like, but between one thing and another, it's getting time to go, And now at this stage, like, all the fishing gear is away, so it has to be like taken out and gone through, and that's just an extra task now on top of it. But I'll get around to it sometime, But it's good down around here, like, for it. It's like the other pier, like, there's two piers there. That one, the other one's just over there. And yeah, the other pier's kind of only opened back up again because they were building the treatment plant over there at Green Building at that place there. And actually interesting, if anybody is interested, if you look up Arklow wastewater treatment plant on Google or something, it's actually been, featured in a couple of architectural magazines and stuff like that about the design over there. So it's like, it's designed in such a way to allow wildlife to nest in it, like bats and swifts and stuff like that. With the way it's louvered, it's kind of, it took some sort of inspiration, they said, from the Sydney Opera House and stuff like that, and kind of matches in with the other building that's over there belonging to a totally different company, But it's good to see development over there, considering that part of the town, like that area, has been very neglected for a long time. Yeah. I think there's people fishing on the pier as well. Yeah, definitely, Dave. I'll have to. I'm feeling older, so definitely feeling older. It was my birthday recently, as well as Channel's birthday is coming up, as I was saying at the start of the stream. So I'm not getting any younger. I'm getting older, but I'm wiser, I don't think. But yeah. There's the two piers, the south pier there. I must put up some pictures of the waves going over the top of that and the storms, and then that's the north pier there. Yeah, and that whole area was kind of taken up with stuff for the construction of that place over there. That's the treatment plant there, as I was saying. And raw sewage was being pumped into this river for years, forever, like, and that's stopped it now because it's gone in there to be treated. And I don't know if you can see that little yellow marker out there. That's where the outfall pipe is. That's where it all ends up after it's been treated, And thanks, Dave, and a happy birthday in advance, Joe. I hope you have a good one, and hope it's a nice day for you as well, like weather-wise and stuff. What's going on here? What are we on? Estrella. Barcelona. I've never tried that beer anyway. But some almost have them on down here anyway. So we have a walk up here towards the harbour anyway. The little the wind farm that's out there, that they're going to be decommissioning it, but that place, that little hut over there is where the power comes in. The cable comes in from the wind farm to there. But yeah, there's plans to put another one out there, or like not another. I don't think it's going to be right on top of where that one was, but I think that's part of the main initiative here with the government. It's like wind. They're kind of going all in for wind power. People are fairly objected to wind power, you know, on land. There's hills like over there to the side. There's a wind farm up on that, but people more so like the wind farms being offshore because they're less intrusive, you know. But then again, there is people that said that they have like negative effects on the marine life and all, but I suppose it depends on where they're built. You know, there's been various let's say reports done and studies or whatever on the wind farm out there, and you know, some people say that it's had a good effect in terms of marine life and certain things. I know one of the universities was monitoring out there for like whales, dolphins and stuff to see how many were in there. I think they had sounders down so they could pick up their you know, their calls and all, so they were able to discern from that like the numbers of them that were out there or whatever. But then there's others that say that it's caused problems with like erosion on beaches and stuff like that. So it's hard to tell, like, really, you know. Let's catch up with some of the comments there. Yeah, just litter bugs everywhere. But you see that all over the place, like. Some roads in there getting maintained or whatever. I don't know, they've got some funding because there's all of this new stuff here, you know. Getting a lot of funding for the harbour, like, so they're talking about putting gates on that so you might be able to go in there soon, like, but all these pontoons are new here. And boat for sale there if anyone's interested. Yeah, that's the thing there, Dave. Like, a lot of people don't want it built near them. Like, I know there's concerns about noise and stuff like that. There was a case only recently in like the next county over here where there's a wind farm that have to, in certain wind conditions and at times of the day, have to turn off the wind farm because it was or certain turbines in it, because people living in the local area said they were getting disturbances from it, like in their sleep and stuff at night. You know, in certain wind conditions there was howling noises or whatever coming off them. So yeah, like, so they have to turn it off at certain times or whatever. But you know, it's a tough one as well, I suppose. Like, a lot of people, as you're saying, don't want them in their backyard. But I think that seems to be what the government's doing now. They kind of want to have focus more on the wind side of it, I think, anyway. you know. But there's a lot of solar places going in now. Like, what's going on over there? Like somebody's power washing something. Yeah, that's right, Joe. Like, as well, like sometimes, you know, places are done up really nice or whatever. Like I remember years ago they used to do lovely flower displays around places, and then like people used to like tear them up and all, and they kind of like, people don't have any pride in their area kind of when they're doing stuff like that, you know. Like, all this stuff's new here. These welfare facilities over there in the grey cabin for the fishermen, you know. And then there's the whatchamacallit, the huts are over there to store all the equipment in. And there's a boat. That boat there is the new lifeboat we got. That arrived last October. But it only became the lifeboat sometime this year, when the other one only left last week. But yeah, I think it's like around €2 million cost to build a boat, like, or whatever. Well, like, it'll probably the other boat was here for nearly 30 years. It was here for 27 years, and they spent, I think it was $1 million on that back in 1997. So that's a good return for your money, I suppose, especially like when the job that they do, like they go out to rescue people at sea or whatever, and it's voluntary and it's a charity as well. I know some people will know what the RNLI is or whatever, but that's actually the old boat over there on the pictures on the wall. So it only left last week. It's going to be like a relief stand-in boat for other stations. But yeah, well, if they got all the hot air there from the political departments, then this country anyway, it'd be like the Sahara Desert with the heat. Sometimes there's a lot of talk, you know, and not much action, but yeah. But yeah, and that boat's it'd be the first class of lifeboat that's named after an Irish river. So the last one was a Trent class lifeboat, which is named after like the River Trent in England. This is Shannon class lifeboat, named after the River Shannon in Ireland. And there was actually a man from this lifeboat station here that was campaigning for years for that, you know. But yeah, that's the new boat. It's called Roy Holloway, named after the man whose legacy went into funding most of the boat. So usually when people pass away, they leave money to the RNLI and they build boats out of it. Cape Cod, yeah, I'm not familiar with Cape Cod. Obviously, I've heard of it before, and I'm pretty sure it's like big fishing port. And that's the thing, like, you know, here used to be really bustling back in the day, like, especially like if you go back maybe to the 60s, 70s, it was really major here. Well, even before that, I suppose, a lot of people kind of started their careers at sea here on fishing boats, and then they went off to go deep sea, like, in, you know, like merchant ships or stuff like that. Like, even people joined the Navy and stuff, but like yeah, a lot of people got their a lot of families, I suppose, as well, were kind of raised off the money that was made fishing out of here, you know. There's a little fish there jumping or something. That was a slipway over there. They used to build loads of boats here in town. There was a place there. There was a place further up the river there, and there's a place across there. You can actually see it. It's the one with the blue door. That blue door behind the little truck. They still make some boats. Probably not on the scale. Give a better look at the the boat here. Oh. Quiet down here tonight anyway, Sunday night I suppose, so a few boats over there for a bit of maintenance. And then that yellow boat over there, I'll be walking by that in a few minutes there. That goes out to like bring workmen out to the wind farm. That's a mussel dredger boat over there. They have a mussel farm kind of just up the coast a bit. And that just be going out there. Yeah, there's an old factory there, but that's like closed since the 80s, 70s, 80s, I think. And that's the thing down here, there's plenty of places that have potential for something, you know, but it's money, you know, people just finding people to buy the sites and develop them, and especially now, the way the economy is with things. That's a new place that's opened up there. It's like a sauna and ice bath place. It's not like there's a free plug for local business there. But yeah, it's a local guy that owns a gym, set it up. And apparently, I didn't know this, but apparently these saunas or mobile saunas and these sort of saunas are becoming more popular now. So I suppose people kind of with the health benefits. And this place here, they were going to turn this into like an offices and all for this new wind farm as a and turn this place here into like a depot for the boats that go out to it to service it. But I don't know what's happening with that at the moment. You know? What's going on, Banger, right? Good to see you. We're just strolling around the harbour. We were down on the beach. But some factories along here. Place in there, they don't make sweets, but they distribute sweets. So the noise was coming from somebody power washing in there. But yeah, they make those, well, they distribute those Finny sweets, Finny. There's a Spanish company that makes them, I think. There's a look back across from this side of the harbour. Oh, no, the dreaded chores. Yeah, sometimes you have to be in the humour to go out and cut the grass outside. And it all depends on the weather too. And, you know, but mine in the back anyway could definitely do with a bit of a mow. But haven't got around to it yet. That's what, sorry, I was just saying that's one of the boats that goes to the wind farm to service, to bring workmen out there to do servicing and maintenance and stuff. Still Astray, because it used to be called Astray before someone else bought it and changed the name, but it's still Astray. But yeah, they go out and that's to do with mussel fishing. Stuff over there stacked up in those crates, most likely probably whelks, you know, like this, like sea snails sort of. of leaving the harbour area. There's kind of a few businesses down here, and those places over there are fairly new there. Kind of a weird place to have a hair salon, but we have our North Quay over there. That's Marina Village there. It's like little apartments and stuff, and into there there's a yacht marina, you know. And that was built, I remember that being built when I was a kid, like, and that whole area over there was just like desolate, if you know what I mean. Like, there's still kind of, see there, like, you kind of have some buildings that are kind of you kind of have some buildings over there that are in disrepair, you know, and not being used for anything. But with the shipping company's new building and then the treatment plant over there, and like all along here is developed, let's say, and the old shipping company's building over there, they're going to turn into apartments. So it's kind of having a rejuvenation over there. Yeah, you see a lot of yachts as well coming in here during the summer with people visiting, you know, when they're traveling about. And it's quite interesting. You see ones from all over the world. A few lately I've seen this. There was an American one here, Canadian one, a couple of Swiss ones, and a lot of English ones as well coming across. Oh, no way, Dave. A lot of snow over there. It's probably cold as well. And nothing worse than that, like. But yeah, that's the thing, like, in the winter at least the grass grows slower, like, so you don't have to cut it as much. But as soon as the heat comes back and a bit of, you know, like, you get a couple of rain showers or whatever in the winter, that's the end of it, like. Or in the summer, sorry, they'll just start shooting up, you know. But it's nice the long evenings as well, like, you know, because you can actually go out and do something there. I'm just going to, this phone's going to go sideways here for a second. So don't mind that, just ignore that for a second. Just sit the phone down. I'll be back in a second. Sorry about that, folks. I was just taking a few pictures of that little black boat that's over there. It's interesting looking. 3 degrees. Yeah, that's not good. Well, that's good. At least you have a few months now until you have to get back in, because it's fairly heavy over where you are, isn't it? Like, when it does snow. It's an interesting little boat over there. I think I've shown this sign as well on the thing before. This was to say, so like this slipway here, yeah. You used to see the rails on the road. There used to be like a shipbuilding place there, Turtles. There's the man that's. Is Pretty interesting. Yeah, that's what it used to look like here. And that's that slipway. Yeah, and it's over across there. Well, you can't see it now because it's behind. You can see the corner they're building over there, but that's the man that founded the company. Yeah, so I'll just 1 second again, and then I'll be back. I need to get this to just sit there for a second. Yeah, that little black boat over there is interesting. I see it doesn't have a name on it though, unfortunately. It's nice to be able to identify the name of it. When I get up here, I'll see if I can see the back of it. If I can see the back of it, it might sometimes have the name on the back and not on the front as well. I find it interesting, the names, because some people are very creative with the names of their boats and stuff, and you have some clever names, you know, or plays on words and stuff like that. So some of them are, you know, whatever, you know. Like there's some of them are just interesting. There's one over there called Ales Away. Blade Runner is another one down there. Zephyrus. So there's now I'm gonna sit down here for 1 second, and I'm just gonna try zoom in on that boat over there, and then 1 second again. Sorry, it keeps going sideways. It locks the orientation in. Locks the orientation in, and you can't change it. Oh, there's a name on the back of it. Now, guys, I'm back again. Yeah, I think it's called Annie C. That's what it looks like. I'll have to look when I get a better look, because the screen on the camera is fairly small, so I'll have to see when I get back to the house, when I get back on the computer. I can have a look. But let's catch up on the comments there. Oh, 4 foot of snow. That's a good fall of snow. Minus 20, yeah. No, we would not be able for that here, minus 20. That's the problem. We're barely equipped for what we do get. Yeah, and like the thing that I find that's just a bit of a shame here is that, like, they used to be like shipping, like the port just above us, Wicklow, they still have large ships come in there, and they do they do export timber, well, import timber and export scrap metal and stuff out of up there. And like, it'd be nice to have something like that here, you know, where there's big ships coming in again and stuff like that. Because it does help take some trucks off the road and stuff. But there's a lot of work has to be done here to get back to that again. Like, they have to dredge the river out, and there's a lot of money involved in that. And I think there's a lot of red tape in terms of where you're going to dump the dredged material and stuff. But yeah, and that's the bridge there. It's called the 19 Arches. It's the longest stone arched bridge in Ireland. And the interesting fact about it is that you can only see 18 and a half of the arches, because the one over that end is kind of, when they were putting in that roundabout a good few years ago, they kind of had to build a pedestrian walkway to the side of it, and it kind of enclosed half of one of the arches, so it's only like 18 and a half now, but it's still there, like, you know, but just not visible. So like all this area like this is here is kind of still like that, because they were doing work for that water treatment plant, but they're also going to put in flood defences here, because this area is very bad for flooding, especially like in the winter when you get a lot of rain and high tides. The water just backs up here and floods. The area on the other side of the bridge over there is like a marshland, so that's like a natural flood area, you know. But I suppose over the years with developments and building and all, it's kind of changed the course of the river slightly. So like that whole area over there, a lot of that is reclaimed. The river kind of used to branch out into a number of, like, it was like a delta, if you know, nearly, if you know what I mean. But yeah, they've kind of built up over the years over there. Like, there's a wall going to go along there with glass panels in it, and here it'll be paved. It's probably good as well, because when you get further up here, when you get close to these buildings, oh, it's kind of gone out, folks. When you get close to these buildings, there's a pinch point up there when you're walking along, you know. So, and that'll be the local shopping centre over there. Trying to zoom in there. Bridgewater. Yeah, that was built around, I think it was 2007. It was finished, and that was kind of wasteland over there until then. But because it was such a small town, it was small enough, like, you know, I suppose in comparison to some towns in the United States or whatever, but like when all the big kind of chain stores and all went in there, a lot of the smaller shops suffered. So the main street here took a hit, and then of course when the recession and all came, like 2008, end of 2007, 2008, that didn't help. So the main street here is great in terms of, like, it's starting to come back a bit. There's a lot of buildings with nothing in it, but like, it's starting to come back, you know. There's businesses starting to open again, and now because of that treatment plant, there was a moratorium on stuff being built, you know, new developments, until that went online. So like now they can build more housing, so with more housing, more people, you know, so they're hoping that, you know, it's a turning point here, like, which is good, like, you know, it's good to see. And there's some good new developments coming, so hopefully it picks up. But like, you know, it used to be great a long time ago, like especially back in the 90s, like, and even before that, for like people coming on holidays or whatever. And I gotta stop up here and so I can have a look at the bridge. Those are old buildings there. I don't know if you can see that. And the Bridge Hotel there, they have a picture of the bridge. It's like Inception there or something, you know? A picture in a picture in a picture. But yeah. All those pipes over there used to go from the port down there out to the fertilizer factory. That's like a couple of miles out the road. They used to pump ammonia up to the factory. It used to come in off ships. They used to then do it by rail. And that went on for a good few years. Yeah. The other side of the bridge isn't as interesting looking because they've had to extend it, you know, to modernise it for traffic. So you can't see the arches on the other side. They're kind of like concrete pillars. But we'll be crossing the road anyway. Yeah, it was built in 1759. Heavy fighting in the 1798 rebellion. And the picture of the bridge, but it's nice to keep that there. But that's the bridge from the other side, so what I mean, like it's been modernised to widen it, so you can't really see the arches. You see the little ones? Yeah, well, they're not so little now, like, but the younger ones, the grey leg geese, there's a lot of them around. There's a duck pond over on the, like, way behind that shopping centre, and there's some more guys. Yeah, this is the River Walk we're on now. And on the other side of here would be the main street. Which we can cut out onto up here. Yeah, plenty of stuff gets washed down and gets caught in the bridge, like the trees and stuff. yeah, it says it's Guinness time. There's a lot of those around, you know. It's time for a Guinness, or a good day for a Guinness. There's another one actually. We'll probably be passing it when we're walking up by one of the pubs here, and it's like I think it's like a takeoff of something in World War II, where there's like all these. They're like the toucans flying over, like, but they look like fighter planes. And then, luckily we weren't standing under there. But lightened himself there. I'm gonna hop up here. I'm gonna take a walk up here. This is the old ship lane. Which is the pub up here. Get kegs. And see the thing there from the front of the boat. Those prices are crazy. Oh, that place is just up the street. Yeah. Now we're out on the main street. But, yeah, I don't mind Guinness myself, like, but like do like some like just normal beers or whatever. Here's the police now in the van. But the Gardaí. Yeah, I'm not like mad keen on the spirits, let's say. I prefer like beer or whatever, but like I used to like cider years ago, but kind of like it's too sweet. I think it's too sweet now. You know, I can't, and I find it's very heavy, like when you've been drinking a couple of pints of it, like it's very heavy on your stomach. You know? It's the park. On the main street. Yeah. But that's the thing, like, and there's some of those new ones now that they have that are very, I think they're very sweet, you know, so like some things are really easy to drink when they're sweet, but I find like with the ciders and all, you get a very heavy stomach. Well, I find that anyway, you know. Oh, there's the oak I was talking about. See over on the pub, it's like it's like the oak, they're like fighter planes or whatever. But yeah, some of the artwork is cool, like you see around. And people collect those, you know. It's hopping over in the pub over there. But I don't know what happened in there. I think people got into that and started a fire or something in it. Don't know. Used to be a popular bar and restaurant in there, but it's closed down. The building's dangerous. Can't remember. There's something wrong with it anyway. They had to move everyone out of it and do a lot of work to it, you know. Apache Pizza. That's the bank there. This real old building. And they just really done all this here a couple of years, 2 or 3 years ago. Maybe less. But it's the church in the main street. There was old cinema there. But as you can see, it's been burnt out many times. But like, there's development to go into that area. The castle's over there. You can see that's some of the old wall of it there. They're like looking to restore that. And then that guy there's on the statue, his father, Michael Murphy. He was he fought in the 1798 rebellion, and he actually got killed just up the road from here. There's like an urban myth or legend or whatever going around that there's a place up there where his head was chopped off, and it's supposedly rolled down the street to there or something, but you don't know. There's a fierce aroma of the herbal variety back there, wherever that's coming from, a car or something. I'm telling you, there'll be somebody in that abandoned place there. Yeah, this is all gone. That's supposed to be developed, you know. Our pub, we've got a few pubs. Mainly, a lot of the businesses in town are like pubs, betting places, barbershops, beauty places, and fast food. Yeah, sad to see though, because when I was younger, like, it used to be more vibrant in terms of the amount of people on the street and stuff in the shops and stuff, but hopefully it'll come back, the railway line that way towards Dublin. This over there is very popular. Tapao House. Well, I said that, it makes a liar. I mean, there's no one in it. But yeah, it's usually hopping over there. Should be an ice cream place there, but you can tell in Ireland that might not want to cross the road here while it's quiet. This is like the top of the main street now, where the roundabout is. Oh, sorry guys, I was ignoring the chat there, I was zoned out. Have to go along there, go back through some of the comments. Oh, I didn't see Dave there, said he was heading on there. Good to see you there. Yeah, hope you have a good rest of your weekend as well, and hopefully it doesn't get too cold there for you. We'll see you on the next video, I suppose, in the next premiere, which will hopefully be coming in the next few days. But as I said, I have a few videos coming for the channel's birthday next week. But there's another interesting artwork over here, just up on the wall, and I'll catch up on the chat then. See the Guinness pints there with the faces. See the faces. Yeah, I love all that artwork that they do have for Guinness, like, it's cool, like. And as I said, people collect that stuff. Here's another one, Guinness for the crack at Maisie's. Not that type of crack now. Come on, guys. As I said, good to see you anyway, Dave. I'm very behind on the chat here, folks. I'm just trying to catch up there. I haven't tried Kilkenny now, to be honest. I was saying that there. And then Strongbow here, the main one's kind of Bulmers. And you have like Orchard Thieves and all now. Oh, thanks, Joe. Like, I'm glad you like it. And hello to Joseph Dirt as well. And Ascalese, sorry. It was even written there after for me. Yeah, I said I would want to do a few more of those. Oh, no. And thanks again there, Joe, for the super chat. Really much appreciated. So thanks very much. You're very kind. Yeah, crack, not crack. But yeah, I actually missed showing you the church going by there. I've kind of zoned out. But I'm sure we'll be on another walk sometime and we'll have another look. Kind of go up this way, and when you keep going, you go out to there's a forest. And you can get to the other end of that river walk we were on. There's a lane up here you can go down. There's another road, but you can walk out that a bit and then go down another little laneway, and it brings you out. Brings you out onto the road down there. And it's a good doing the old streams out, walking around is good for me as well, because it's a bit of exercise. But school lane over there, that's a school. You see they've put all these things in here, these pencils. We spent a fortune. It's to stop people parking here, you know, to drop kids off at the school. People sometimes just stop in the road and let the kids off then, like, so I think it doesn't really make a difference. I used to go to school there, secondary school. There's primary school over there. It's only like across the road. But yeah, it's Sarklow CBS. Well, like, they're gonna build a new school there. I don't know when they're going to start building it, but they've put in planning permission to build one, so we'll see what happens with it. yeah, we drive on the left over here. I'd say that can be confusing for people when they come on holidays and they hire out a car and they're pulling out of the hire place. I'm pretty sure a lot of the hire places probably have a lot of signs on them. Drive on the left. Yeah, and then it's weird because I seen somebody talking about it the other day, saying that, like, we measure the speed limits here now in kilometers. So, like, there's 50 kilometers an hour speed limit on this road. And but, like, with the car, with the range in the cars, we still go by miles per gallon, not miles per kilometer or anything, you know, which is weird. Yeah, you see that? I'll walk this way because you can come back out over there. But so, like, there's a castle out in this woods called Glenard Castle, and there used to be huge grounds belonging to it back, you know, in the time when it was like a proper castle and all. And this is one of the gatehouses for the estate. There's more out on the other road. There's like 3 entrances. So there's gatehouses, but this is like a private residence now. But it's really nice building. I love the door. But yeah, 1898. But yeah, like, that's it's great as well to see that the door is still there now, because it's really nice. But that was one of the gate lodges, so I presume, like, you know, like, they probably had gamekeepers and stuff on the estate and all. And yeah. There's a football club there. One of 3 football clubs. They're all in this area. Actually, there's one there and 2 up the road. Then we have a hurling club, a Gaelic football club, rugby club. Is there anything else? There probably is something else. It's not really like a basketball club or nothing here because we don't really have. There is places you can play basketball, but like there is basketball like leagues and stuff like in Ireland, but it's not really a thing here, you know. There's a tennis club down there as well. Actually, just we passed it when I was walking up here. And then we have another school up here straight ahead, and that's a secondary school, and that was only recently like modernized a couple of years ago. It's like been totally rebuilt, and probably in terms of facilities and, you know, just the building, it's probably the best school in town in terms of that way, what they can offer there. But of course the other school down the road, when they get, you know, their new building and all, they'll obviously have better facilities. Yeah, quite interesting. Yeah, and I think when you're saying about the architecture and all there, the castle out there is really nice, but it's like in private ownership. And what's been happening is the people had been trying to restore it, but people keep going onto the land and like breaking into the place, and there's been like urban explorer people in it. There's been, you know, people going in to rob stuff out of it. So like I think they kind of gave up, and it's kind of just sitting there. And it'd be nice if like the government or the local authority bought it and kind of turned it into some sort of a heritage place for the area, you know. But that's the thing, money, you know, it's all money that way. And they just don't seem to want to spend on stuff like that, you know. Now they have, I suppose, recently the government purchased a lot of land down a place called the Connaught Pass down in County Kerry, where they're extending one of the national parks by doing it, which is a good sign. And they've bought some land at the Glen of the Downs in North Wicklow, which will extend that area of nature reserve, you know. So that's good. You see this school here now. We come by the gate, and then if you were watching since the start of the stream, when we were down at the beach, you could see this tower, the water tower. So yeah, that's Glenard College. Nice modern school and great facilities and all. And only recently we had a bad water outage because there was some power fault, and the pumping station in there went offline, so we were out water for like a day. Not everywhere, but some places in town. Yeah, that got a modernisation job on it a few years ago as well. Across the road. There's an alarm going off somewhere. That's the thing I said on one of those videos I done, when the one about that motorbike being stolen. These alarms could ring all day and people wouldn't bat an eyelid to them now, you know. Because a lot of people probably think, you know, it's a false alarm or whatever, you know. It's only when it becomes a nuisance for people sometimes that they'll actually investigate why it might be happening or something, you know. But Yeah, that's the thing about like it is a shame that they can't do something to like restore it or even turn it into something, you know. Like there's a lot of land with it there, and like it could be even like have the castle as like a heritage place. Like it was run as a hotel for a good number of years out there. There's a restaurant and all in it. But of course, like things don't do well sometimes, and that kind of faded away, and then it went to private ownership. Well, like the hotel was private, but you know, it went to like a family or something. You know, it wasn't a business. But yeah, and then the thieves kind of were going into steal, like, you know, like copper, like wiring, and if there was any, I think there was furniture and stuff in it from back in the time when the hotel was there. But there's actually, do you know what? Some evening I should do, because I know some people are kind of interested in the stuff and all. Like, so some evening I should do a bit of a live stream, back at home, and I could show some pictures of it, because we might even be able to find some videos online of when people have went in Urban Explorers, and maybe have a look, and you can see the castle and you'll be able to see inside. Because when I go out there, I might be able to do a stream out there, but I think I tried to do it before, but the signal's a bit out. I don't think it's great, but it might be different now, because it was a few years ago, I think, when I did a stream out there. But you can't really get up close to it, you know, up to it, but like some of these people just kind of went in anyway. So I think some of the videos are up, so we might be able to look at that and have a look at inside what it's like there, and you'll see the potential that the place has, like, you know. But yeah. See out there on that hill there, they have you probably can't see it, but there's the wind turbines. You can barely see them, those white lines there. But there's a wind farm out there on the hill. A mountain's called Croken. And then you're looking down that way as going into County Wexford. So yeah, so I think I'm gonna make for home now, and probably get something to eat, a bit of a snack or something. Definitely a cup of tea, has to be a cup of tea. And yeah, but as I said, channel birthday, 5 years next Saturday, and I'm hoping to do some hoping to get a couple of videos out for that, you know. But how you keeping? Hoping to get a few videos out for that. I have as I was saying, it's the Sovereign Citizen video. There's a graveyard in there. Yes, that Sovereign Citizen video, and it's a very interesting one. It's good, actually, because our man in it doesn't only come to the police's attention once, but twice. But it's an interesting video. And then I have another one that I came across. It's like this. There's been some issue in the school, and the parents get called in about one of the kids, but they're basically being told their kid seems to be the primary aggressor in the situation, so that they're not going to be taking action against the other child. And the kid's father starts like freaking out and getting a bit abusive and stuff like that. And it's really a good example of like how not to act in front of your children. What's going on here? It's just an alarm going off. I don't know if it's the same alarm we heard a few minutes ago back there, but crazy. Seems to have stopped now. That's another football club. There's a school in there as well on the grounds. They're going to be building a new school for them. Of course, the graveyard over there, so they're kind of the length of here. But yeah, as I was saying, gonna have a few videos for that. I'll hopefully have that one, the parents one, the sovereign citizen one, and I have another one, and I can't for the life of me remember what it is. It's another crime one, obviously, but yeah. So we're gonna have those next week, and hopefully, if I can get some time as well, like I can do an out live stream as well. It'd be nice to hopefully do that on the Saturday for the birthday. But all going well, hopefully, anyway. But just there before I go, I'm just going to have a look there. Yeah, no, I will do that. I just saying, you're saying there, no, I will do that one. Or I look at or I have a look inside the place or whatever. I don't. Which walls do you mean? Back in the castle, or in that like little lodge house or something? Like some of the stone. There is a quarry in town here, but I'm not quite sure. Maybe back. I'll have to look into that more. But maybe back in the day they probably were. I know there was other quarries in Wicklow that were producing different types of stone, so maybe some of those may have been used for when they were building those things back in the day. But yeah, I suppose with transport now, they probably would have been local enough, back then. But place used to be a telecoms building when the company was state owned. It was Aircom. Well, it was P&T first, Postage and Telegraphs, then it was Telecom Air and Aircom Air. But it's private ownership now, but that place just sitting there, And then our fire station's down there with the tower there. But firemen here are only retained. So it's they're not in there all the time. It's when they get a call, they'll come up and get into the fire engines and go to the call. And they get paid, every quarter or whatever, depending on. I think they get a retainer fee, obviously, but if they get a call out, they get extra money, But the fire brigades in Dublin, Cork, and all, they'd have full-time firefighters because it's obviously much busier. But yeah. So so I'll be working on getting those videos out for the birthday, and we'll be doing something for it anyway. And hopefully have some updates as well. And I'm going to be putting up a few pictures for the members, and I have to get back into doing those podcasts, the members podcast as well, because that has been slacking on while the next one I'll be doing will be Shergar, about the racehorse disappearing. But yeah, thanks very much to everyone for joining me, and I will see you again soon on another premiere or stream. And thanks very much again to Dave and Joe for the super chats. It's very much appreciated, guys, and it does really help out here at the channel and keeps things ticking over, so I do appreciate that. So I hope you all enjoy your evening. And I just see they're not so much volunteers as such. Yeah, they have their own jobs on the side or whatever, full-time jobs, and then they'll have to leave the job. But there's a lot of rules in it. You can only you have to work within a certain distance of the fire station or live there. If you're on call, you have to stay within a certain area, but they get a retainer fee, and then they get money as well when they get called out. So, but yeah, I suppose it's similar to voluntary, but you are getting paid for it, but that's not their full-time job or whatever, so it can be tough at times for them, especially as well if you're trying to find numbers and people are constantly on call, if you've no one to cover them or whatever. But yeah, so yeah, I'm definitely going for the cuppa anyway. I have another bit to walk still, but battery's getting low here, and yeah, that's really it. But thanks to everyone for joining me, and then as I said, thanks again for the super chats to the two guys there, and I'll see you all again soon. So have a great evening, And I hope you had a great weekend and did enjoy the video. So I'll talk to you again soon, guys. Take care.